What's up, everyone? I don't usually get on camera and talk about, anything, really. I like to think things through and lay it out in nice, definitive text so it can't be misinterpreted. But anyway, I was, going through some stuff that I have left over since I'm locked out of my hard drive right now, and I'm down a ton of media. But anyway, I was watching Alex Collier, and I found a really important little, 3 minutes? It's a 3-minute clip. And I think he pretty much sums it up from my point of view. It's it's old, from 1994, circa 94. And I'll just play the clip, and you guys can see where I'm going with this, and maybe I'll come back on after the clip or not. I don't know.
So they've basically been taking over, and what they did was they got involved in 1980. They're working with the Pleiadians, with the Syrians. They have
which group is Syrians?
From Sirius A. Sirius A. So what they're doing here now is they're trying to raise the consciousness. They came back in time to 1964 to contact me. I'm not the only one. There are others. There are also other people who are mediums or channels, or whatever word you want to add to it, who are also getting information on a spiritual level. Octurians are also involved. And the whole point is they want our part of the galaxy to evolve. And what's holding us back is our solar system. And what's holding back our solar system is the consciousness of humanity on the Earth. The Earth herself, as an entity, spiritual entity, wants to move into fourth and fifth density. But she can't yet because of the consciousness of humanity. And in order for her to do it without humanity, one of two things have to happen. Humanity either has to shape up, grow up, as the Andromedans say, or humanity has to be removed and get out of the way.
Cleansed.
Exactly. Whatever term you want to use. But those options don't necessarily involve us using our free will. So that's the dilemma that we have. It's like we are so entrenched in our belief systems that the reality of our belief systems is being chipped away daily, to what we think is real. And an overlapping degree of thoughts and energy are being introduced that hopefully will open our perspective, enough people's perspective, to the point where we can experience a real leap in consciousness here. And we have to do this quickly. We have to do this by 2001 in order to really...
particular month?
Between July and August.
And what's happening?
That's the probability.
What's happening July, August 2001?
Well, basically nothing, but, we're creating our future. Much of our future, that our belief systems, is being focused on the Book of Revelations, on other prophetic disasters that are to occur.
So you're talking about self-fulfilling prophecy?
Right. We're literally going to create it. We're literally going to create our own demise. Because we're buying into belief systems that say we ourselves are not mature enough or grown up enough to take care of our own selves. So we need somebody to come in here and take care of us. And that's an absolute recipe for disaster.
See what I mean? Does everybody see what I mean here about this recipe for disaster with all this religious nonsense and trolling that goes around and labeling you're an atheist, you're an agnostic, you're for Islam, you're a neocon, and blah 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 blah. All these labels, irrelevant. They're all irrelevant. They're all part of that. Okay? So everybody really needs to, you know, raise your consciousness, man. Okay? Get over that. Okay? Get over it all. Because if you don't, there won't be a future. There won't be a future. And I don't keep coming back here for nothing. Okay? So we just need to get the show on the road, man. Everybody needs to start speaking like that guy. Laying it out there like that, man. All these belief systems gotta go. And I'm gonna go find that Bruce Lipton. I'm gonna find a clip of Bruce Lipton and close this video with some scientific evidence of how belief affects biology. Okay? And so you'll have your tangible evidence to why what he's saying is true. Okay, this is 1994. Dude's predicted 9/11. You think he's talking out his ass still? Well, I'll go find some Bruce Lipton, and I'll leave you with that. And yeah, man, thanks for watching.
Thank you. I want to thank Doug Parks for providing this opportunity for me to speak here before you, and I want to thank you for coming out, because I have some very, very exciting information that I love to share with everybody. And this information really relates to what controls biology. And as Doug mentioned, I was a cellular biologist at the University of Wisconsin, cloning human muscle cells. I was taking cells out of people, putting them into the tissue culture dish, and studying individual cells in an effort to understand what was controlling their fate, what was making them dystrophic or pathological, what was making them normal, and in the control process. In this research, I started to come to an understanding that greatly differed from my whole scientific foundation, that we were controlled by genes. And in the end, the research let me in on the inside that it was the perception of the environment that controlled the cell. Well, at cell levels, perceptions are perceptions, but at human levels, perceptions are beliefs. And it turns out that it's actually our beliefs that select our genes and select our behavior. And the beautiful part about this, as Doug said, is it's life-changing for myself especially. I was one of the genetic kind of people, and now I've transitioned my whole life into this so-called New Age spiritual science of belief. And the wonderful part about this lecture, outside of the fact that I will provide you with a molecular connection of how a belief actually switches on a gene, so that there's no like empty boxes, no devotion in this place. This is actually just molecules. I'm going to get that across, I hope. But the beautiful part about this is that in the second part of the presentation, a dear friend and colleague of mine, Rob Williams, is going to provide you with information and tools about how you can rapidly change beliefs. Belief changing is not that hard a process. In fact, it can be done almost in minutes. So there's new science and new tools available. But before I start, let's start off with a truth statement. This is a very simple truth statement. Knowledge is power. The more awareness you have, the more capable you are of surviving and succeeding. Well, this is a truth, but there's another truth as well that goes with this picture, and that is lack of knowledge results in a lack of power. Why is this relevant right now? This question about lack of knowledge is this. Is that we all have been provided with information about our health being involved with our genes. We used to hear the stories, actually we still hear it on a daily newspaper. You might even find an article tonight that talks about the fact that the genes control the aspects of our lives. Well, we also recognize this, that we got the genes from our parents. And when you get genes from your parents and all of a sudden the genes control your life, then you find yourself to be more or less a victim of your heredity. If you find that there's cancer running in your family, then what do you start to get nervous about? My God, I've got genes in here. I'm a ticking time bomb. Something is going to go off and I'm going to end up dead, or some problem is going to happen. Why? Not my responsibility. Came from my parents. Well, the problem with that belief system is it extends to another level. It says if you really can't do anything about your genes because that's what you receive from your parents, then all of a sudden you become irresponsible in the sense of like, well, I can't do anything about it, so why should I even try? And that's when all of a sudden all things go lost. And this is where this lack of power manifests itself, because this belief about genes is totally disempowering to every one of us, because it says you are less powerful than your genes. But what about the reality that this is not a true statement?